planning to create the link and I missed it. And morning I forgot. I thought yesterday night I created the link. Just when I saw the phone call from Arvindole, I realized I didn't create the link. Okay. Anyway, most probably this will be the last theory class in this course from my side. Uh, Practicals, I will request our teaching assistant to handle it. She will share the pictures. Pictures you can draw it from your own slides. Yeah, if you need, I will provide the slides. I will attach the slides in the Moodle. You can draw it from the and write the characters and all from the. If needed, I will give the practical manual also. Okay. So yesterday we completed up to mosquitoes among the public health pests. We will continue with the public health pests. Uh, just a minute. And the next public health pest is housefly, the most ubiquitous one. All of you might have seen it and experienced it. Scientific name, you know, Musca domestica, belonging to the family Musidae. And it's the habit of its breeding that makes it a public health pest, because it has the habit of breeding in decaying organic matter. Any decaying organic matter it visits and lays eggs there. So it can breed in decaying organic matter, livestock manner. That means in cow dung and all, in poultry litter. Poultry sheds are one of the major uh, places where these houseflies breed. And what happens is that once they visits this decaying organic matter, it picks up pathogenic organisms from this decaying organic matter, because it's here. If you remember the morphology part, we studied about the pretarsal modifications of flies. It has aroleum, embodium, etc. All these are spiny structures or hairy structures. So these spiny and hairy structures on present in the legs help them to acquire pathogenic microorganisms, and these pathogenic microorganisms will be carried over to our household and contaminate the food if it sits over any food material. So that's what happens. So it picks up the pathogenic microorganisms from the breeding grounds, especially decaying organic matter, and it will contaminate our food material, which is left uncovered. So that's what happens, and it also deposits its excreta on food. That we not normally don't realize it. And the major problem disease that it causes, it transmits stomach disorder, pathogens that cause stomach disorders. We call it as enteric pathogens, and it leads to diarrhea. So we normally know how it occurs. So these are vectors of pathogens which cause diarrhea. So that is with respect to houseflies. There is nothing much to explain with respect to housefly. You can write on your own. And coming to the next one, tsetse fly, belonging to the family Glossinidae. Does anyone know the scientific name of tsetse fly? Anyone? No? It's Glossina palpalis. I forgot to mention it. Glossina palpalis. Okay. And it is a vector of African sleeping sickness or trypanosomiasis. That disease is called as trypanosomiasis, because this disease is caused by trypanosomes, an organism belonging to the group trypanosomes. So tsetse fly, we don't normally get it over here. This is just for your information. Just remember that Tsetse flies are vectors of African sleeping sickness or trypanosomiasis. That's enough. Glossina palpalis. So that's with respect to tsetse flies. Coming to the next one, cockroaches. How many of you are afraid of cockroaches? Still afraid after coming joining BSc Agri and attending entomology course? Are you still afraid of cockroaches? I don't think so. Because now you have learned to handle insects. So these cockroaches are also just like houseflies. They contaminate our food materials. The normal species which we see over here is Blatta orientalis, Periplaneta americana, and Blattella germanica. So Oriental cockroach, German cockroach, Periplaneta, I forgot what is the common name. So Blatta orientalis, Periplaneta americana, and Blattella germanica. These are the major species which we see over here. And they are omnivorous. That means they feed any kind of food materials. And you might have studied Utica, wherein they lay the eggs in a particular kind of shell called as Utica. And this is purse shaped, a handbag kind of thing that you can see it over here. And each Utica may contain, depending upon the species, number of eggs in each Utica may vary, but usually it varies from 5 to 40 eggs. And unhygienic conditions and lack of cleanliness in our households are the major reason for the multiplication of cockroaches. If some food material is left over in the kitchen, if we are not cleaned it properly, especially in the night, that helps in the breeding of cockroaches. So poor housekeeping and unhygienic conditions favors the multiplication of cockroaches such as Periplaneta americana, Blatta orientalis, and Blattella germanica. The one character you can write is Utica. It is a purse-shaped structure. And again, I told you it is importance is public health importance is similar to musca or houseflies. It has the ability to contaminate the food, and it can transmit pathogens which cause gastroenteritis, enteritis, conjunctivitis, and urinary tract infections. I am not sure about, though it is there in the literature that it can transmit conjunctivitis. What is conjunctivitis? What is conjunctivitis? I think that is familiar to. Earlier it was pretty common eye disease. Kannasukeda. Yes. So conjunctivitis and urinary tract infections. I don't know how cockroaches can transmit conjunctivitis, urinary tract infections, etc. I'm convinced about gastroenteritis because it can contaminate the food and can cause stomach upsets. So that's one thing. And it also has the ability to cause allergic reactions. Not all persons, certain persons are allergic to cockroaches. So this is the public health importance. Contaminates the food, can cause gastroenteritis or gastric disorders, and it can also cause allergic reactions. Coming to the next one, lice that every one of you might have experienced at least once in your lifetime. So these are obligate blood feeders. That means they need blood meal for their survival, and normally it is considered as an irritating kind of thing. But earlier, if we see the history of human beings, we can see it as this as a organism. This is as a pest which had as the ability to transmit several diseases. It has the ability to transmit several diseases, but nowadays these diseases are not common. So that's why we don't consider it as a major public health pest nowadays. But earlier, it used to transmit different kind of diseases like as epidemic typhus, trench typhus. So several kind of diseases it used to transmit, and these diseases were extremely lethal too. But later on, this disease problem decreased, but still The lice as a public health pest still remains, and we have three kinds of lice. One, it is extremely common to you, that is head louse. നമ്മുടെ തലയിൽ കാണുന്ന പേൻ തന്നെ, head louse. Then there is a second type, that is body louse. Body louse is the one which used to transmit several diseases, especially certain diseases which were fatal at that time. And there is another kind of lice called as pubic louse or crab louse. That is also not common. Only head louse is common nowadays. And first we will discuss about human body louse, or it is also called as scooty. I don't know why it is called as scooty, but it is also called as scooty. And it is scientific name is Pediculus humanus. So the body louse scientific name is Pediculus humanus, and it lays eggs on the cloth of human beings, and it bites on the body of human beings, and it will really lead to intense irritation of the bite site. Just like നമുക്ക് മൂട്ട കടിച്ചു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ, next we will discuss about bed bugs. So just like if you receive a bed bug bite while you watch a movie, that is the same thing like that. It causes intense irritation, and similar to bed bug, it will also lead to the formation of red papule on the bite site. Red papule means a small reddish swelling on the bite site. So that you might have observed with bed bugs, isn't it? നമ്മൾ തിയേറ്ററിലൊക്കെ ഇരുന്ന് സിനിമയൊക്കെ ആസ്വദിച്ച് കണ്ട് തിരിച്ചു വരുമ്പോഴത്തേക്കും ചില ഭാഗത്ത് കൈയുടെയൊക്കെ ചില ഭാഗത്ത് ചൊറിച്ചിലുണ്ടാവും. ചൊറിയുന്ന ഭാഗത്ത് നോക്കി കഴിഞ്ഞു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ചുമന്ന് തടിച്ചിരിക്കുന്നത് കാണാം. ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് നത്തിങ് ബട്ട് റെഡ് പാപ്യൂൾ ആൻഡ് ഇറിറ്റേഷൻ ഇൻ ദ ബൈറ്റ് സൈഡ്. സോ ദാറ്റ് ഇസ് വാട്ട് വി നോർമലി see observe with body louse also, though it is not common nowadays. And there are certain persons who doesn't have some personal hygiene, doesn't maintain personal hygiene. This body louse can become a major issue, and if it becomes a chronic problem, if it becomes chronic problem, a regular problem, then it leads to thickening of the skin in those areas. Because what we'll do is we may start itching onto the bite site, and continuous itching on a particular bite site can lead to a discoloration of that area, and it will lead to thickening of the skin in those areas. നമ്മൾ മാന്തി മാന്തി ചൊറിയാക്കുക എന്ന് പറയില്ലേ, എന്ന പോലെ വരും. So there will be continuous irritation, and we will lead to scratch that bite site, and continuous scratching will lead to discoloration of the skin, and it will lead to thickening of the skin. So this chronic body louse infestation is called as, that disease is called as vagabond disease and hobo disease. Vagabond disease and hobo disease. What is the literal meaning of vagabond? What is the literal meaning of vagabond? Anyone? If someone knows the meaning of vagabond, you can understand why the disease is called so. No? ആർക്കും അറിയില്ല? Wanderer, yes. അലഞ്ഞു തിരിഞ്ഞു നടക്കുന്ന ആള്. So that is, they are called as vagabonds. So they usually don't have any personal hygiene, and also those persons are more vulnerable to body louse infestation, and they will have this thickening of skin and discoloration of skin, etc. And this is also called as hobo disease, and it leads to development of allergies, fever, swelling, etc. So this is with respect to body louse. It lays eggs on the clothing, cause intense irritation because of its bite, and there will be reddish papule development on the bite side. And there is chronic infestation, it will lead to vagabond disease, and it can lead to development of allergies, fever, swelling, etc. Coming to the next lice, that is head louse. That is the most common. more all of you are familiar with this, I feel. This scientific name is Pediculus humanus cor capitis. Capitis. The body louse was Pediculus humanus humanus. Head louse is Pediculus humanus capitis. And it infests scalp and hair. Uh, I feel you know what is scalp. നമ്മൾ ഷാമ്പൂന്റെ ഒക്കെ പരസ്യം കാണുമ്പോൾ അപ്ലൈ ഷാമ്പൂ ഓൺ സ്കാൽപ്പ് തലയുടെ മുകളിൽ. So it infests scalp and hair, and this head louse usually lays eggs at the base of the hair. Head louse usually lays eggs at the base of the hair, and as the hair grows, the egg detaches from the scalp, detaches from the skin of the head, and it moves along with the head. ഞാൻ ഈ പറഞ്ഞ എന്താണെന്ന് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് മനസ്സിലായോ? The eggs are laid at the base of the hair, close to the scalp, and as the hair grows out, the egg detaches from the scalp and moves along with the uh, hair. And what we call it in Malayalam, uh, eggs sticking onto the hairs, we normally call something, your mother or and all must have told. തല മുഴുവൻ എന്താണെന്ന് പറയും, പേനല്ലാണ്ട് വേറൊരു പേരും കൂടെയും പറയാം, മുട്ട കാണുകയാണെങ്കിൽ ഈര് എന്ന് പറയും. യെസ്, ദാറ്റ്സ് ദ തിങ്, ഈര്. So that's the eggs of head louse. So usually it is laid very close to the our scalp, or usually it is attached onto the scalp. But as the egg grows, hair grows, it gets detached itself from the scalp. So that's what we normally observe. And how does it get transmitted? It is usually person to person contact. Usually that's why school children and all gain head louse infestation. And uh, now another chance of getting infestation of sharing objects such as, that is normally what you people do in hostels. You will share the comb, you will share the brushes, and nowadays you most probably share headphones. Usually one piece of headphone will be in the ear of one fellow and the other piece will be in the another fellow. All these are your just creating a bridge connecting the heads of two persons, so that head loss can pass from one person to another. So headsets are one thing. No, also those, I don't know what you call the headsets which completely covers the ears. Uh, it has a sponge coating, so head loss can remain inside it and it can get transmitted. And caps are another source of spread of head loss. So my young daughters, when they were going to school, they had severe problem of head loss. But now once it is lockdown and there is no school, no issues, because the chances of person to person contact is less. So that's how it spreads. So person to person contact is one thing, and they share a lot of things, especially children, kids, etc. And it will lead to intense irritation. That's the one thing. It doesn't have much other issues. It causes intense irritation. That's the only thing associated with head loss or pediculus humanus capitis. So coming to the next one, that is crab louse or pubic louse. The scientific name is Pterus pubis. The crab louse, the third lice is human crab louse, or it is also called as pubic louse, and the scientific name is Pterus pubis. It usually infests pubic region, eyelashes, eyebrows, mustache, beards, armpits, etc. So any region covered, any body part covered with hairs, that is the major occurrence of, that is the location where crab loss occurs. So that's what these things I have only learned about, no chance to come across it anywhere. And how this lies became extremely important in public health, because these insects used to transmit diseases such as I told you, epidemic typhus, trench fever, relapsing fever, etc. Epidemic typhus, trench fever, relapsing fever, and all three diseases were transmitted by body louse, not head louse or crab louse. All these three diseases transmitted by body louse, and nowadays these diseases are not that common in any part of the world. And I think I told you the story of World War, the story during World War during the development of DDT. Uh, isn't Do you remember when I took the class on pesticides, when I handled the history of pesticides? Yes. So DDT was dusted on persons, especially army persons, to get rid of this body loss. So that because these diseases were extremely prominent, especially trench fever. Trench fever was severe during World War One and Two because these troops, the army personnel were remaining in trenches for days together. So at that time, these diseases got transmitted through body loss. So epidemic typhus is caused by rickettsia. Relapsing fever is caused by spirochetes, and trench fever is caused by a bacterium Bartonella. All three are transmitted by body loss, and all three diseases are not prominent nowadays. So, epidemic typhus, rickettsia, trench fever, bacteria Bartonella, relapsing fever by spirochetes. Don't remember the fossil organism and all, just remember the diseases transmitted by body loss. And I told you to watch a movie regarding this. Do you remember that the name of that movie? No one watches English classics. Yes, Schindler's List. Okay, those who have not watched, go to Netflix and watch it. One of the finest movies from Spielberg. Uh, so that's one thing. And the one yesterday was the birthday of one of the most illustrious Hollywood actor. Whose birthday was that yesterday? Yes, DiCaprio. Oh, DiCaprio. Okay, DiCaprio. Okay, it's one of my favorite actors in Hollywood. Not because of Titanic alone. There are several very good movies from him. So try to watch all those classics. It's good. It's a good time pass. Okay, that's with respect to this thing. Coming to next, it is kissing bugs. Kissing bugs belong to the family Reduidae. Usually, this used to be a question in JRF exams, which is the family of kissing bugs. That is Reduidae. We have Rotneys and Triatoma, which are the two genus which is bloodsuckers. Rotneys prolixus, and the other one is Triatoma. They are nocturnal in nature and they suck blood. They are called as kissing bugs because they bite the faces of human beings in night. They are bloodsuckers in the night, and they suck blood from human beings in the night from their faces. That's why they are called as kissing bugs. I didn't know why they were called as kissing bugs during my UG. Now only I came to realize when I was preparing for this class and all. And these kissing bugs are also vectors of diseases called as Chagas disease or trypanosomiasis. Trypanosomiasis. Chagas disease is also called as trip. Sorry. Trypanosomiasis caused by Trypanosoma cruzi. That fossil organism is Trypanosomia cruzi. Don't remember, don't, there is no need to remember the disease causing organism, bacteria, rickettsia, spirochetes, etc. Remember the name of the disease, that's important. So when you study about kissing bugs, remember it is a vector of Chagas disease or trypanosomiasis. That's the only thing you had to understand, remember. Then coming to the next one, bed bugs. If you ask any American, especially those in New York, which is the most notorious public health pest, they will say it is bed bug, not mosquitoes. If you ask any Kochi resident, they will say it is mosquito. But for any New York resident, it is bed bugs. So all the New York town area is heavily infested with bed bugs. So the infestation is extremely severe that 2 to 3 years back, New York, I think everyone is familiar with the federal laws and all after the American elections. Each state in US is governed by their own laws and all. So New York State, what they did was they made a legislation to teach students at the class of 5 or 6. That means at an younger age itself about how to maintain a personal hygiene to prevent the spread of bed bugs. That is the spread of bed bug in New York State. So it's creating a huge issue over the so bed bugs. We have two species, Simax hemipterus and Simax lectularius. So there's a the genus is Simax. We have two species, hemipterus and lectularius, and they hide in the cracks and crevices in human and animal habitation, especially in mattresses and upholstered furniture. So especially in mattresses and all, they hide in the cracks and crevices, especially in human habitations, and they are negatively photodiaphic. They avoid sunlight. They remain in dark areas, hide in the cracks and crevices, infest mattresses, upholstered furniture, and usually its infestation is seen in public utilities such as trains. In our country, trains are the Indian Railways are the major distributor of bedbugs all over our country. Then buses I don't know how much, but trains are a major distributor. Then theaters, then office waiting rooms, etc. All are sources of bedbug infestation, and they prefer hiding in wood. Whether bedbug is a problem in hostels now? No. Oh, Ramjit, a little. So all those bedbugs must have died of starvation after the lockdown. So don't expect that because insects have the ability to survive this. Uh, so that's and especially earlier when we were using wooden coats and all, we used to have heavy bedbug infestation. But now most of the hostels are having metal coats. So once we started using metal coats, it's not that a preferred hiding site for bedbugs. So that population it's slowly decreased. Earlier, it is used to be a very major problem in hostels, and it crawl into narrow crevices that is behind newspapers. If you attach any pictures, any wallpaper of your favorite sports person or film star on the wall, it provides a hiding space of for this bed bugs. They hide behind these wallpapers, pictures, electrical switches. If in an infested room, if you open the switchboards inside, you can see numerous bed bugs. So these are some preferred hiding sites for bed bugs, and they cause unpleasant bite reaction. It doesn't cause any disease at all, but it causes irritation, just like body loss. So bedbugs, Cimex, it is negatively photostatic, hides in cracks and crevices, especially in mattresses and furniture. Uh, Prefer wooden furniture, and it is usually seen in theaters, office spaces, trains, etc. And it causes unpleasant bite reaction. Coming to beetles, there are two beetles which are considered as public health pests. One is the blister beetle belonging to the family Meloidae, and row beetle belonging to the family Staphylinnidae. I think both you have seen during your taxonomy classes and all, isn't it? Meloidae and Staphylinnidae. Yes or no? Yes. Okay, blister beetles. And these causes, as the name indicates, Blister beetle has a chemical called scantharidin, and this scantharidin can lead to blisters on the skin, irritations on the skin. And the Staphylidae, the scientific name is the insect scientific name is. Anyone remember it? Aedes fusibus. It is a predator in rice ecosystems and all. Not only in rice ecosystem, vegetable ecosystem also we normally see it. Aedes fusibus. I don't know whether A is there or not, but still the spelling is almost the same. And it has the ability to secrete a toxin called as spiderin, and again it will cause allergic reactions, irritation to the skin. So, have you anyone come across this blisters caused by row beetle and blister beetle? No. I used to get a lot of call about 2 to 3 years back from several engineering colleges across the state, from different parts of the state, where they used to complain about the infestation of this staphylococcus row beetle. So, once if some tree branches and all are hanging over to the hostels, these row beetles gain entry into the hostel rooms, and it will use to cause allergic reaction to the students. So, and earlier when we were doing our Rabe program in 2001, we were carrying out our village stay in Eramamkuttur near in the Payanur, in Kannur district. And they were at that time it was group farming, and in that group farming, one that agriculture officer took huge interest in that one Padasekaran that took up the cultivation practices synchronously, same variety planted at the same time. And at that time, carbofuran was the one, just like we recommend ferteran now. Carbofuran was the one which used to be recommended. So he recommended carbofuran for the management of stem borer and leaf folder, and that was bumper yield at that time. And when the laborers entered the field for harvesting, several of them developed allergic reactions on the skin, and immediately every person attributed the allergic reactions to the use of carbofuran. Then our teacher, Dr. K.M. Srikumar, went over assembled all the villagers in the school, and he collected some staphylococcus beetles from the field before coming over to the session interaction with the farmers. And these, uh, in front of this farmers, farm girl group, he placed this raw beetle over his hand and showed that this is the insect which causes allergic reaction, not the insecticide. So you have to understand the cause of the thing. Should have a scientific mind to understand those things. So this is with respect to beetles. Then coming to the next one, fleas. Fleas are not that a major problem, but sometimes it can become a problem. Belong to family order Siphonaptera. We have human flea, Pulex irritans, which can cause annoying bite. Then rat flea, Xenopsilla chiosis, which is the vector of bubonic plague in human beings, and the that it is organism which causes plague is Yersinia pestis, that all you might know. So that's the uh, economic importance of fleas. Pulex irritants it, cause only annoying bites, just like head loss, body loss, etc. But rat flea, Cynoscilla has the ability to transmit bubonic plague in human beings caused by Yersinia pestis, and murine typhus and endemic typhus. We discussed about epidemic typhus in the case of body loss. In fleas, it is endemic typhus, murine typhus or endemic typhus. It is transmitted by fleas. It is caused by rickettsia. So this is with respect to fleas. Then comes the last public health pest, that is eye flies, Siphon culina funicola, Siphon culina funicola. These are the small flies that hover in front of your eyes that disturb sometimes. And this public health importance is it is the vector of conjunctivitis. So that's the major importance of that. It's not the sole vector, but it has the ability to transmit conjunctivitis. So these eye flies or siphonculina hovers in front of our eyes and has the ability to transmit conjunctivitis. Coming to the next group, that is veterinary pest. We will finish it off pretty quickly. I will give a list of scientific names only. There is not much to discuss about it. Just go through it, the scientific names again. I will give the slides. Uh, we group it into three midges or myiasis causing insects, fleas, and lice. So this is the first one, lice. Second one will be fleas. Third one will be blood sucking flies, and fourth one will be myiasis causing flies. So these are the things: lice, fleas, blood sucking flies, and myiasis causing flies. We will discuss it. These lice and fleas are ectoparasitic in nature. നമ്മൾ ഈ പശുവൊക്കെ ഉള്ളപ്പോ ചെള്ള് എന്ന് നമ്മൾ പറയുന്നത്, ഇറ്റ് ഇൻഫെസ്റ്റ് ഓൾമോസ്റ്റ് ഓൾ ദി domestic animals. I think you might have seen. And there are several ectoparasites infesting poultry, കോഴിപ്പേൻ എന്നൊക്കെ പറയുന്നത്. And you might have seen all the stray dogs in our campus. They is infested with some ectoparasite and all. So these lice, fleas, etc. are very common in domestic animals. Lice belonging to Mellophaga, they are ectoparasite. The common genus of veterinary lice are Hematopinus, Linognathus, Bovicola, etc. Hematopinus, Linognathus, Bovicola. These three are the major genus of lice infesting domestic animals. And if you see the different lice infesting different domestic animals, the cattle, the catting biting louse, it is called as Bovicola bovis. Cattle biting louse, it is Bovicola bovis. It is usually seen at the base of the tail, shoulders, and top line of the back. Base of the tail, we can see it on the shoulders of the cattle, and top line on the top portion of the animal. These are the preferred sites for cattle biting louse, Bovicola bovis. Then those louse which infest horse is called as Bovicola equi, because horses are equines. So it is Bovicola equi. Those that infest hog, what is hog? What is hog? Pigs, yes. That is called as Bovicola suis. Then the louse that infest sheep is called as Bovicola ovis. So cattle, it is Bovicola bovis. Bovicola equi infest horse. Bovicola civis infest hog or pigs. Bovicola ovis infest sheep. Then dog louse, that is very common in our area. It is Trichodectis canis. Chicken body louse is Menacanthus stramineus. Chicken body louse is Menacanthus stramineus. Shaft louse is Menopon galline. Shaft louse is Menopon galline. ഇത് രണ്ടിനുമാണ് ചിക്കൻ ബോഡി ലൗസ് ആൻഡ് ഷാഫ്റ്റ് ലൗസ്, മെനോപോൺ ഗാലിനെ ആൻഡ് മെനാകാന്തസ് സ്ട്രാമിനേസ്. അതിനെയാണ് നമ്മൾ കോഴിപ്പേൻ എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. When this lice infestation is there in poultry, you normally see this poultry rolling over in soil. നിങ്ങൾ കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ടോ? കോഴി മണ്ണിൽ കിടന്ന് പൊടി വറക്കും. മണ്ണോ അല്ല മെയിൻ ആയിട്ട് അത് ചെയ്യുക. If there is some wood, a lash lying in some area, this poultry used to remain over there and roll over, it spreads the ash all over the body. Has someone seen that? If someone has poultry in their backyard, they might have seen it. No? Yes, Aparna has seen it. Okay. So that's the usual practice. Just like we dust wood ash on cowpea for avoiding aphid, this is the same way to avoid this lice from the body of poultry. That's the normal practice they adopt. So these are several. Just go through these scientific names. Remember a few. That's the only thing. And these lice cause anemia, dermatitis, allergy, hair or feather loss that you might have observed in our the stray dogs in our campus. They will lose all the hairs. Poultry will lose all the feathers. It leads to anemia, dermatitis, allergy, etc. You might have seen these dogs rubbing over to the surface and it scratches and it gets all the wounds and all. So allergic reactions, dermatitis, anemia and all. So this is lice is a major thing in domestic animals. Coming to the next, that is fleas belonging to Siphonaptera. Again, it is an ectoparasite similar to lice. The flea that infects cat is Tinocephalides felis. Tinocephalides canis infests dog. Then stick-fast flea is Echidnophaga gallinaceae that infers poultry. Stick-fast flea, Echidnophaga gallinaceae. Rabbit flea is Spilopsilus cuniculi. Rabbit flea, Spilopsilus cuniculi. Chicken flea is Ceratophilus gallinae. I will repeat: cat flea Tenocephalides felis, dog flea is Tenocephalides canis, stick-fast flea is Echidnophaga gallinaceae, rabbit flea is Spilopsilus cuniculae, chicken flea is Ceratophilus gallinae. Similar to lice, it also causes anemia, dermatitis, allergic reactions, etc. So fleas and lice are almost the same. ഫ്ലീസിനെ മലയാളത്തിൽ എന്താ പറയാ? ലൈസിനെ പേ എന്ന് പറയും, ഞാൻ കോഴിപ്പേ എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു. ഫ്ലീസിനെ നമ്മൾ എന്താ പറയാ മലയാളത്തില്? ഇറ്റ്സ് കോൾഡ് ചെള്ള് എന്ന് നമ്മൾ വിളിക്കും. ഈ പശുവിന്റെ മുകളിലൊക്കെ ചെള്ളിരിക്കുമ്പോൾ നിങ്ങൾ കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ടോ? പശു വളർത്തുന്നവരൊക്കെ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ടാവും, ചെള്ള് പറ്റി പിടിച്ചിരിക്കും, ഭയങ്കര കൊഴുത്തിരിക്കും. യെസ്, ഓക്കെ. Then comes blood-sucking flies belonging to family Diptera. There are these blood-sucking flies. You might have seen cattle and all rubbing their skin over to rough surface and all. Nowadays, these advanced dairy farms provide certain area for rubbing the body of animals. നിങ്ങൾ കണ്ടിട്ടുണ്ടാവില്ല. The brushes are provided in modern dairy farms, and if the animals move along that brushes, their body will get rubbed. So in order to get നമുക്ക് ചൊറിയുമ്പോൾ കിട്ടുമ്പോൾ ഒരു സുഖം ഉണ്ടല്ലോ, while itching, if you scratch our skin, we derive certain pleasure out of it. The same manner animals also get some pleasure out of it. So animals occasionally move over to these sides of these brushes to get rubbed upon. So this is several insects cause flies suck blood from animals. One is biting midges belonging to the family Ceratopogonidae. Biting midges belonging to the family Ceratopogonidae. Horseflies or Tabanidae, Tabanus and Chrysops. These are the two genus which has bloodsuckers. Only the females are bloodsucking, and these tabanids can inflict very painful bites on animals. And it will lead to reduced weight gain, reduction in milk weight, and it can damage the skin of the animals. And this skin, once it is animal is slaughtered, the skin is used for leather industry, and if the damage of tabanus is there, it fetches low price. So it can damage the hide material. So biting midges belong to family Ceratopogonidae. Horseflies belonging to the family Tabanidae. We have two genus, Tabanus and Chrysops, wherein only the females are blood sucking. It inflicts painful bites, results in reduced weight gain, milk yield, and it has also the ability to damage hide. And the next one is stable fly, Musidae, belonging to the family Musidae. Stomoxys calcitran. Calcitran, stable fly. The scientific name is Stomoxys calcitran, belonging to the family Musidae. Here, unlike Tabanidae, where only females were blood sucking, the stable flies, both sexes sucks the blood, and the bites are extremely painful. And once it flies over after biting the area, we can see blood oozing out from the bite site. So it will lead to localized wounds which will form scabs later. ചൊറി പിടിച്ച പോലെ ഇരിക്കും. And nowadays this stomoxis is becoming more and more severe. നിങ്ങൾക്ക് ഈ പൊട്ടൻ കടിക്കുക എന്ന് പറയും ഞങ്ങളുടെ നാട്ടിലൊക്കെ. ബാക്കിയുള്ളടത്ത് എന്താ പറയാന്ന് എനിക്കറിയില്ല. നിങ്ങൾ ആരെങ്കിലും അങ്ങനെ പറഞ്ഞു കേട്ടിട്ടുണ്ടോ? പൊട്ടൻ കടിക്കുക എന്നാണ് അതിന് പറയാ. ഒരു ആ ഈച്ചയെ കാണാൻ നല്ല വലിപ്പമുള്ള ഈച്ചയാണ്. യെസ്. And nowadays, this is becoming more severe, especially in rural areas. Even in certain households where cattle is not at all domesticated, and the certain persons are extremely allergic to it. I will give one of my personal experience. One of my relatives, they're staying there. My neighbor also. My cousin married a girl, and she developed suddenly, spontaneously, she developed some allergic reactions, and they went over to the doctor, and the doctor said that she might have got some allergic reactions because of some fly infestation. Then they checked, yes, there was fly infestation over there. The second time it became more serious. We used to take visit hospital just about 9 to 10 kilometers apart in Perimbawur. But the second time it was a bit serious. She developed a bit complication, and she had to go taken to a hospital clinic en route. When the third time it became extremely serious. Every time if she gets bitten by that fly, this thing become more and more serious. So that is the thing with the, and when the doctor issue was discussed with doctor is saying that it is becoming more and more serious nowadays with persons with has extreme allergic reactions to it, and it can lead to mortality if that allergic reactions are not attended immediately. It can lead to the mortality of the person. So these table flies are becoming more and more problematic nowadays. Stomoxis caseltron, the bites are extremely painful. And in my home also, it is there, and it has certain. I don't know whether this flies bites me or not. It is there, but I don't normally realize the bites at all. But my wife as well as my brother, they are extremely sensitive to it, extremely sensitive, and they immediately fix it, and they have extreme allergic reaction, though not that fatal at all, but still they are extremely sensitive to it. We usually say that these flies gets attracted to them, but not others. My mother, uh, my my kids and brothers kids, we don't get normal bites, but others and or some persons, they are heavily attracted to it. Then the next group is horn flies, again belonging to the family Mucidae. The scientific name is Hematobia irritans. Again, both sexes are blood sucking and inflict painful bites. Horn fly, Hematobia irritans. Then comes sandfly, Psychotidae, that we discussed yesterday, belonging to the genus Phlebotomus. Both males and females are bloodsuckers, and it has the ability to transmit anthrax, one of the deadly diseases in livestock. Then comes black fly, Simulium. Both sexes are blood sucking. So among the blood sucking flies, we have biting midges in the family Ceratopogonidae, horse flies in the family Tabanidae, Tabanus and Chrysops. Here only females are blood sucking. Again, it inflicts painful bites. Stable flies, Stomoxis calcitran, both sexes are blood sucking. Horn fly, Mucidae, Hematobia irritans, both sexes are blood sucking. Sandfly, Phlebotomus, both sexes are blood sucking and vector of anthrax. Blackfly is Simulium, again both sexes sucks the blood. And the next group is among veterinary pests is myiasis flies or blowflies. This is myiasis flies. You might have seen maggot infestation in wounds of animals. You might have seen if there is some wound in the flesh of animals, these wound will get infested with maggots. Live flesh will be infested with maggots, and these kind of flies which lay eggs on the wounds, And the maggot, which has the ability to infest live flesh of animals, is called as myiasis causing flies. We call it as myiasis flies. So invasion of living vertebrate animal by fly larvae or maggots. We have three family: Californidae, Sarcophagidae, and Eastridae. Californidae, Sarcophagidae, and Eastridae. In Californidae, we have blue bottle flies, Califora species. Then we have screwworm, Cochleomia homnivorous. I think that scientific name is common to you. Chrysomia bassiana, Lucilia cuprina, and Phomia regina. All four are screwworm flies. Cochleomia, Chrysomia, Lucilia, and Phomia. All belongs to the family Califoridae along with Califora. And Sarcophagidae, we have flesh flies or Sarcophaga. Then Eastridae, we have sheep noseboat, Estrus ovis, Gastrophilus, and warble flies or Hypoderma lineata. So Califoridae, we have Califora. Screwworm, we have Cochleomia, Chrysomia, Lucilia, and Phomia. Sarcophagidae, we have Sarcophaga or flesh flies. Eastridae, we have Estrus ovis or sheep noseboat, Gastrophilus, and Hypoderma lineata. And I have given a list of integrated management of veterinary pests. Just go through it. This is not that a difficult thing. I will just read it out. Quarantine before the introduction of new stock. One thing is nowadays the high-tech cattle farms, dairy farms in our state imports cows from, especially from Tamil Nadu, and these cattle are sources of this veterinary pests. So we have to ensure quarantine, just like we are familiar with quarantine after COVID infestation. Then avoid water stagnation to prevent breeding. Collect urine and dung separately from cattle shed. Otherwise, it will urine and dung mix together and it forms a breeding site congenial for this veterinary pest. Provide light traps because certain insects are attracted to light. Smoking inside cattle shed. Smoking is a one practice which can normally be done to reduce veterinary pest infestation. Routine examination of affected animals and isolation and treatment of affected animals. Thorough cleaning, that is one thing. Hygiene, thorough cleaning and washing of animals as well as sheds. And if there is any wound to animals, it should be properly dressed to prevent the egg laying by myiasis causing flies. And immediately after the birth of young calf, we should properly manage the navel cord, because navel cord is a source of it's an open wound. So that navel cord, in that navel cord, myiasis causing flies can lay the egg and can lead to myiasis in that area. Then spraying of lemongrass oil in the sheds, that is, this is a fumigant. Then smearing of neem oil in the body of animals. That is one way normally, one thing normally practiced by farmers. They will smear, they will coat the body of the animals with neem oil, then fogging in the cattle shed, and we can use ectoparasiticides such as pyrethroids, deltamethrin, and cypermethrin. We can spray over there are formulations called as butox, etc. This butox is nothing but deltamethrin. Spray on the animal body. Sometimes we can dust powders on the animal body or dip animal in the insecticide. How it is in a tank, insecticide will be mixed and animal will be allowed to walk through this tank. So dips are also practiced. Just go through it. I will, Aravind, can I take 2 more minutes? I will finish one more slide and finish up the portion.
Okay, sir.
Okay, household pest, which is pretty easy. Just give, there is no management and all. I have just listed it. Cockroaches, someone was asking, telling about household pest when we were discussing about storage pest. Then crickets, Grillodus sigillatus and Akita, belonging to the family Grillidae. It causes nuisance sound. Then we have ants, Monomorium indicum and Cambonotus cumbrosus, belong to a family Formicidae. Monomorium indicum and Cambonotus cumbrosus. Then wasp, Vespa orientalis, Vespidae, clothes moth, Tinia pachyspila, Tinidae. I think you might have seen this all this in your household itself. Silverfish, Lepisma saccharina, you might have collected it during your first entomology course. It feeds on starched cotton, wallpaper, book bindings, glue, etc. Then carpet beetle, that you might not have observed belonging to the family Dermistidae, Anthrenus flavipus and Attagynous species, because we don't normally use carpets in our area. That's why this is not common in our area. Anthrenus and Attagynous. Then we have furniture beetle and powder post beetle. You might have seen in wooden furniture uh, certain dust remaining at the base of this wooden furniture. ഇല്ലേ, നമ്മൾ മരം കുത്തിപ്പോവുക എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് കേട്ടിട്ടുണ്ടോ? മരത്തിന്റെ അടിയിൽ മുഴുവൻ പൊടി അടിഞ്ഞു കൂടുന്നത്. In schools and all, nowadays now we use steel furniture in schools. Otherwise, in school, behind benches and desks, we used to have some powder kind of thing. That is caused by furniture beetle and powder post beetle. Furniture beetle belong to the family Costrichidae. We have two Heterogostricus equalis and Dinodirus oscillatus. Oscillatus, that is oscillatus, not oscillatus. I'll correct it and send you. And powder post beetle is Lictus africanus. Both damage wooden structures. So furniture beetle, Heterobostricus equalis and Dinodirus oscillatus. Powder post beetle is Lictus africanus. So I have finished off the portions. Practical, the material will be shared. You write your uh, reports. Just go through it. The things veterinary and all, there is, you can't expect much questions from the during the exams. Okay. Anything? Any clarifications?
Sir, miss wait the class.
Okay.
Just minute.
Okay.